Hello, hello, hello. Glad that you guys are joining me. I saw we had Dr. Insomnia and Luciano in the chat already, so it's great seeing you guys. We start here at 7 p.m. Just started a little bit early. Go ahead and see how you guys are doing. It's definitely been a long week for some of us out there. You know, if you're working a 9 to 5, you're working shift work or any type of other line of work, I'm sure it's been one of those weeks. Not everybody gets the weekend off. Many people have to work the weekends. A lot of people have to do, Saturdays and Sundays. So if you're off this weekend, fantastic. I'm glad that you're recharging and definitely looking forward to what Monday is going to be bringing. And, as we get going, we will officially start at 7. This is kind of a soft opening. As you guys are coming in, tell me where you guys are from. What are the biggest things on your mind going to this week for work? Let me know as we're starting to get ready to launch this new venture. Hey, thank you for the super chat this evening. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Appreciate that so much. What a way to get things started this evening. Great to see all of you guys joining. Don't forget to share it out and like that. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm losing weight. Hey, Captain Vicky. Yeah, appreciate that, Captain Vicky. That means a lot to me. Thank you so much for that super chat. That's awesome. What a great way to get started tonight. And of course, we got Dr. Insomnia here. Off on the weekends during Christmas season. I work Saturdays too. Yeah, I know I do my fair share of Saturdays, normally off on Sundays. So that's always nice. And of course, work throughout the week. I got the next couple days off, which I look forward to. We'll get started here in just a few more minutes. At 7 p.m. we will officially start the stream. Luciana says enjoying this 50-degree weather. Yeah, for sure. This coming week, we're actually going to be in the 70s here in Florida. So pretty excited about that. Excited about enjoying the cooler weather. So, you probably noticed my little dog back there, and got another dog next to me right now joining us for the stream. So it's great seeing all of you guys. Thank you for joining me for tonight's live stream. I'm really excited to be back doing these wonderful things. Dr. Insomnia asks, are you subliminally telling everyone to work like a dog? That one is Chimmy. That dog right behind me is Chimmy. She's one of our older dogs. She is 12 years old. So she's 12 years old. She's one of our old ones that's been with us for a while. And I have another one right here who's one of our youngest dog. He's a mixed lab. He's a little crazy guy. But it's great seeing all of you guys here this evening as we get ready to officially launch this live stream. This will be taking place every Sunday night at 7 p.m. So we are definitely going to be really launching headfirst into this new venture for the channel, and I'm excited for you guys who have been part of it. So, I know the work week's coming up. I have a lot of work coming up for myself at my job location. Got a lot of stuff that we're doing this week, and so I really want to get focused on what we're doing there at work. As far as I know, you guys got a lot of work stuff too. Hey, Jeff, great to see you. Great to see you. Thank you for coming in, being part of tonight's live stream as we're about to, get going here this evening. As more and more people are rolling in, I just really, really enjoy you guys. I've missed all of you guys, so thank you for being part of here. And as 7 o'clock has rolled around, this is clocking out time, right? Let's clock out. Let's talk. Now it's time to dive into tonight's show. thank you for joining me. Thank you for coming by and being part of this. This is the first official clocked out conversations since the shift of the channel. And tonight is about clarity, not reaction, not noise, clarity. If work has been heavy, if interviews have been frustrating, if you have been dealing with difficult people, this space is about helping you move forward strategically, calmly, and with purpose. So before Monday hits, let's talk about what you're walking into this week on the first episode of Clocked Out Conversations with me. Thanks for being here, guys. Thank you for coming in. I want to talk to you guys about a lot of stuff that we've already covered this week on this channel. We've talked about toxic work environments, toxic coworkers, toxic managers. During the polls that I've conducted on the channel, we've explored all kinds of other things as well. I think that's important for us as workers, as maybe managers, if you're watching this, or actual business owners, of how we are moving forward in our career paths and what to anticipate and what to look at. And I think this is an important step. And this is what I've been really focused on and passionate about for so long. And I just want to address this as to get out before we get going. The focus is career clarity and workspace strategy. And I want to make sure that we understand what this channel's purpose is. This channel's purpose is to help people grow. It's to help people find focus and help individuals find meaning in what they're doing. And also give advice where possible, help illuminate maybe different things that they didn't think was possible, and help individuals succeed. That's what this channel is about and what it will be about moving forward. And I know a lot of you guys have stuck around, and I appreciate that. Thank you. You guys are investing in something that has been passionate about me. And I know this is a new territory for me in this space, and I look forward to tackling it along with you guys and to be part of this and to, of course, pour into me your guys' experience and knowledge and things that you guys have incurred during your work careers, because all of that advice, experience is valuable and definitely needs to be passed on to younger generations that are coming up into workforce today. There are a lot of people that are having a hard time finding jobs for one reason or another, and we'll explore some of those reasons tonight. We'll explore some of those things that people are finding difficulty with, and we will hopefully come to some good solutions and some good options for people with your guys' help. So thank you guys so much for being part of this turnaround. And let's go ahead and kind of lead in tonight to what I really want to talk about tonight. And that's why work feels heavy right now. Let's talk about burnout, interview fatigue, toxic culture, something that we've been touching on the channel this week, and feeling stuck. A lot of people can feel stuck in the career they're currently in, maybe the job that you're in. Maybe it's not the ideal job that you thought it was going to be. You kind of feel stuck maybe because you're the sole breadwinner of your family. Maybe things are too tight for you to even consider changing career paths or changing jobs or moving in a direction that could provide instability moving forward. We don't obviously want to have instability moving forward, especially if you have a home life. Maybe you are that sole breadwinner of the family. And so when people start to feel these things, sometimes it can manifest in very different ways. And sometimes it can manifest in a way that causes people to react emotionally to situations around them or that they might be going through. And that can lead to poor decisions that are being made. So hopefully we can tackle some of these things tonight. And of course, we can tackle these moving forward with these live streams that we'll be having every Sunday night at 7 p.m. And I look forward to doing that with you guys here tonight. So let's stay focused on what we need to talk about tonight. And let's start with, of course, the toxic work culture. Many of us that may be part of out there, things that are taking place that are impacting us at work, and really, really having a hard time dealing with it. I like that comment. Luciana says, perhaps the only job that was giving an opportunity. Oh, you reacted it. Okay, I'll wait for you to retype that. I was starting to read it. I'll wait for you to put that back up there. But let's talk about this here for a second as we get going, because I think, here we go. We conducted a bunch of polls over this week and videos that went along with it. The polls really focusing on, again, toxic work culture, toxic coworkers, toxic managers, things. And I used the word toxic, and I defined that word toxic before in one of the videos. And it's really more than just someone being annoying. Everyone has that annoying coworker or maybe that annoying boss. But that does not necessarily make that individual toxic. It doesn't. There's so much more to that definition than just annoying. Toxic is somebody that is seeking to cause you emotional damage, and sabotage your career, sabotage your job. There's so much that goes into the toxic work environment that creates a space that you don't feel comfortable working in. And that impacts so many different things. And unfortunately, too many of our workers have to deal with that day in and day out. One of the biggest things I've always told people that have worked for me or under me or I've worked alongside, and it's things that I have preached to my kids as well, is that you can only control what you can control. You can't control everything around you, right? You can't control the environment. You can't control the business, the way the business is moving. You can't control all those exterior things, but you can control you. Control the things you can control, which is yourself, how you react to things. And many times we react very emotionally to things that are happening around us. And that, again, leads us to making poor decisions. And I don't want you guys to make poor decisions. I don't want any of us to make poor decisions. I want us to make rational decisions when it comes to our career, because it's more than just a career for a lot of us. A lot of us, it's a way of earning a living, a way of providing for your family, for your spouse, for your children, maybe for your in-laws or your grandparents. Just fill in the blank. And that's who you're working to help besides yourself, right? In the toxic work environment, a lot of things can happen that really lead us into a situation that really impacts just not you, but the entire team itself. A lot of people can refer to these individuals as cancers. We've had cancers inside of your work teams. I'm sure you probably look at different points in your career that you've had a cancer inside your work team and how it impacts the entire team. It doesn't just impact you, it impacts the total working environment that you're in. And those individuals, their attitudes are contagious. Bad attitudes, just like good attitudes, are contagious. And it can really turn other people into those cancers. And a lot of times if management or if whomever is running the job place does not address it, those cancers spread and they impact not only the work environment, but your interactions with customers, your customer service suffers. A lot of things suffer because of these things that are allowed to fester and continue to boil underneath the surface without being addressed, right? And so some of the themes that actually stuck out this week from those polls that I put out this week was actually going to an interview anxiety and awkwardness, scripted interviewers who don't understand real experience, difficulty translating deep experience into structured answers, and then frustration with the format, not necessarily the job. That was our interview process polls that we put out there. A lot of people are struggling with qualifications. They're struggling with the interview format itself. And many of you guys, maybe you guys didn't have issues with interviews or the interview structure. And if you guys didn't, that's great. Please share your experience. How did you go through that interview to make it successful? How did you prep for that interview to become successful in that? A lot of people sometimes leave an interview not knowing if they've gotten a job, not knowing those things. And so when we have these interviews, people really tighten up. I think of it like this. A lot of people have anxiety for test taking. I think of it the same way. Test takers, people will say, I'm smart, but I'm a bad test taker. Some individuals say, I'm a great worker, but I'm terrible at interviewing. It's the same type of concept, right? And I think it is because we hype it up so much, we don't go into it and act naturally. We try to portray sometimes what they want to see versus what we actually bring to the table, or real genuine qualifications that we have, but we, for whatever reason, we become very self-conscious about it. We hide it. We become very quiet. We're not very candid, and we kind of just react to the questions instead of actually engaging with the interviewer. We just kind of sit there and like, oh, I don't want to say anything that's going to not get me the job. And sometimes that can be very intimidating. People have a high anxiety for interviewing, and unfortunately, that is something that people kind of struggle with. And hopefully, through the time we have together, obviously, I'm not going to solve everything in tonight's video, right? We're not, but hopefully, through the time we have together on this channel, we provide strategies, ways that you can prepare for interviews better, interview confidently, and go in and knowing that, not only that you nailed this interview, but you definitely are earning that job. And so hopefully that's the type of things that we can do here. And I'm really excited to help people succeed. I get enjoyment. I'm happy when people succeed. When people I know personally and people that I've seen in different spaces succeed, and they become phenomenal, because I've always known that they're phenomenal and they're now being recognized for that. For example, on this space, on this platform of YouTube, I've known lots of YouTubers over the years, and I've known guys who have been real small and they finally blow up. They become big YouTubers. And I'm like, man, that's fantastic. I'm so excited for you. I'm glad. I know that you were always going to do great things, because that you just had not been recognized. And finally something clicks and they put it all together and they're phenomenal. And I love those individuals. They know who they are. And so that's something that we want to make sure that I'm able to help you guys any way I can, as far as with interviewing, because knowing that interview process in and out, doing interviews, being part of interviews, interviewing. Let me tell you guys a quick story real quick. I was in management for years, and there was this corporate position that was opening up. And I knew I was a top qualifier for this position, or I would not have gotten the invitation for the interview in this capacity. It was something that I was looking forward to. It was a position that was a teaching position within the corporate. It was something that I was going to be able to help other people in my same position. I was going to be able to be a resource for those individuals. And so I had never been in this type of corporate interview before. I wish somebody would have helped coach me through this a little bit, because I would have definitely done it differently now, the more I know. However, going into that first interview and knowing that there was other people that were competing for that same job. I think there was three of us. It was three finalists, and I was one of the three. And we all had interviews on the same day, and we had to drive to corporate, and we go into this beautiful building, beautiful corporate building. We go in, and we're sitting down, and we sit there, and you start to kind of, go through the things in your head, maybe the things that they're going to be asking you. You're really focused in on your job specific things that you're an expert in, and that's what I kind of was focusing on. Unfortunately for me, I overthunk that entire interview as I went in. In that type of interview environment, I walked in. It was a boardroom interview, so I walked in. We had all of these uppers. We had vice presidents, we had regional directors, we had district managers, and we had specific individuals who were over specific jobs in that company that were doing the same thing I was applying for. And so walking into that was very intimidating at first, because you're not just being interviewed by one individual, you're being interviewed by multiple individuals. And many of these individuals I knew. I've interacted with them before at the store level. And I thought I knew their personalities at the time. I thought I knew what I was going to be walking into. I walked in and I was completely unprepared for this interview. Let me tell you what, I did not do a great job interviewing. Even though I had the experience, I had the knowledge, I had all these things, I froze up during that interview. I sat down and I was very stiff. I was so stiff during this interview. I was nervous, and I was just, you could have probably broke me in half if you knocked me over, because of how stiff I was in this interview. I didn't look like I was relaxed at all, and it impacted my answers. I fumbled with my answers, and things that I knew just escaped me. So I want people to avoid those situations. I want people to be prepared for interviews, for these types of high-powered interviews sometimes that we have to go into. A job promotion within your current position, getting promoted into the next step. I want to be able to help provide you guys the tools to be able to succeed in those areas. Long story short, as that interview wrapped up, I remember getting a call and saying, "Hey, you did phenomenal. You did great in this interview. This other person, we ended up going with that individual because X, Y, Z. They had a little bit more experience than I did in some other areas." And so, yeah, stage fright. Yeah, that great analogy there. Yeah, stage fright. I had stage fright. I completely froze up. But I did talk to them a couple days later, and they said, "Hey, just keep your interest in that position. Maybe something else will come open." Everyone loved what you had to say, even though after I got through, I didn't even know what I said in that interview, to be honest with you. And that's how unprepared and frightened I was in that entire thing. But I did not get that position. I did get a call later on for that same position, but it was further away from where we lived, and it would have required us having to move, and we weren't in that position to move that way. And so I had to turn that position down. So I was actually considered for that next position that opened up without having to go through the interview process again, because they had done that interview with me, and I did well enough apparently to be still offered the position. However, because of the location where they were seeking for me to go to it, it wasn't feasible. I had to turn it down. But the moral of that story is sometimes interviews can be intimidating, even for people that have given interviews. So don't ever feel as though you failed in an interview process just because you feel that you froze up. Many times you're in that interview and you say some brilliant things, and there are things that interviewers will look past, especially if they can tell you're nervous. Maybe they'll even tell you things like, you can just relax. We're just having a conversation. And that's a cue for you to just treat it like a conversation. I want you guys to treat this stuff like a conversation. So that's some stuff that we'll be definitely tying into as we go through this channel, as I produce videos to be put out there. I encourage you guys, if it's valuable, please share it along. Doing my best to help really impact the world positively. And many times, impacting the world positively means pouring out. You got to pour out. You got to pour out to individuals out there, and hope that they take that great advice or that experience that you have given them, and they use it for something to be beneficial for them. Let's talk about that toxic workplace again. The poll I put out this week with the toxic work was what makes a workplace toxic for you. Bad management was by far the leading vote getter with 41%. Number two, which was pretty close, was 32%. 32%. So we had 73% of people who voted in this poll single that toxic coworkers and bad management, drama, leadership is the cause for workplace toxicity. That tells a lot, right? Across the comment section, I saw people say all four were the same. Everything that's mentioned in the answers, toxic vibe rub off on other people. Hard workers feel punished with more work while others skate by. Peer pressure to adopt bad habits, and nobody wants to do the work anymore. That one really kind of made me stop and think about that one for a moment. Nobody wants to do the work anymore. I've seen this a lot, and I don't want this to be a generational fight in a sense, because I work with some great people from across all generations, right? We got boomers, we have millennials, we have Gen Xers, and we have Gen Z. We have Gen Alpha coming right up behind them. And these people all coexist in work environments. And the biggest thing I'll always hear a lot of times from people is that the young generation doesn't want to do the work anymore. And that generalization has been around forever, right? The baby boomers said it about the boomers said it about the Gen X said it about the millennials say it about the Zoomers, and the Zoomers probably will say it when Gen Alpha comes to working age. And I think that's an unfair characterization. Every generation, I believe, based off of my experience working with many of them, is everyone has a different way of working. And if you don't know the language, and I say language in a sense that sometimes our communication is off. We don't communicate clearly for some generations. For example, I guess I'm a millennial. I'm between Gen X and millennial, so I'm in between somewhere there. Anyway, a lot of times people just tell me, hey, do this. And most of the time we're like, yeah, sure, we'll do that. Typically don't ask questions. We just do it. We don't, whatever. What I've noticed about Gen Z, the Zoomers, is they want to know why they have to do it. And it's not disrespecting individuals of who they're telling, even though sometimes we take it as disrespect. We're like, oh my gosh, why don't you just do what I told you to do? It's most of the reactions that stem from those questions. It's like, why do I have to do that? Well, you just do what I tell you to do. And unfortunately, I think that's where our communication breaks down, and we want to default to, well, back in my day, terminology. And I think that's where we get it wrong. I think that's where we get it wrong. Because what I've learned this time through is that if you actually just explain to Gen Z why they're doing something, say, for example, I'll use a real world interaction that I've had. So I work at a grocery store. We put groceries on the shelf. There's procedures on how we do that. So when I tell somebody, hey, we need to move this over here, there's a purpose behind why we have to do that. And the first time I had this interaction, he kind of looked at me and said, but why? He wanted to know. And I think the reason why question, because he didn't really process it. Not that they're dumb. They're not. They're one of the most informed generations that we have encountered, mostly because they have access to the World Wide Web at such an early age. It's so easy for them to ask Google or ask Siri or ask whatever why something is. They see something, hey, why was this done? And they're told. Similar situation. They just want to know. So I told them, I said, the reason we do move this from there to over here is because when we get it here, we're able to open up this space for the next deliveries that are coming in. Makes it way easier. We're working a step ahead. And then the light bulb turned off in his head, and he's like, oh, that makes sense. He's like, nobody's ever told me why we do that. I was like, a light bulb went off in my head. I'm like, they just want to know why. They're not being disrespectful. They just want to know why. And that's not wrong to want to know why. And so when we do that, when we see that, hey, David, great seeing you. Hey, I like salts here tonight too. Hello, great seeing you. When we see those things like nobody wants to do the work anymore, when I see that comment, the light bulb goes off of my head, and I was like, they're probably thinking, or they might be interacting with a younger generation. And sometimes that happens. But trust me, there are plenty of people who don't want to do the work, right? And they're sprinkled all across all generations. It's not just Zoomers. It's not the millennials. It's not Gen X, boomers, baby boomers, whatever. All generations have those individuals in them that don't want to do. They just want to skate by. They just want to ride the coattails. They just want to clock in, clock out, get paid for the least amount of work that's being done. And of course, that's not fair to the hardworking individuals that are trying to make the company better, or trying to make their job better, trying to move up. They feel like they have to carry more of the load because others aren't wanting to do that. And that's where the job of management comes in, where they should be holding that standard equally across the board for everyone, not just the high producers of the store or the location or wherever you work. If you're a high producer, you understand that sentiment. Hey guys, hey, get down. Hey, moose. Hey, guy. They see a cat down there. Okay. Anyway, high producers. If you're a high producer associate, you know this, or a worker. If you're a high producer worker, you know the situation that you have when. I love them. I really do. I love both those dogs. Oh, easy. Oh, they're just doing their job. They're high producers. High producer employees. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Oh, no. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Oh, there we go. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. They are just doing their job. That's what they do. As I was saying, high producers, we know that feeling. That's feeling. Hopefully that will just stay there. Calm down, Moose. You can't come through here. Moose, you can't come through here. There we go. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Where was I? High producer individuals. That's where I was at. The worst thing you can hear as a high producer, employee, associate, whatever, are the words, "Thank God you're here." You know it's already going to be that type of day going into work. When you walk in and they say, "Thank God you're here," you're like, oh no. Because obviously it's something that nobody else can solve or nobody else wants to solve. Yes. Oh, there goes my mic. Hold on, guys. Really sorry. Okay. Okay, guys. Sorry, I had to do a different setup since the last time you guys joined me, and these guys are not making it easy. They see something down there. They're eating my script. They are. They're eating everything I got around here. So okay, let's just move from there. Oh, Fluffy dog's just chilling. She normally just chills out. It's these other guys that are just so wanting to. Okay, yes, please get up there. There we go. Rats in the microphone. It's alive. We understand exactly. Hey, thank you, David. Thank you. So as we move on, I just want to touch on this here with you guys as we're here are some things I want to make sure that we are doing on this channel. We're going to provide that career advice, interview strategy, workplace boundaries, difficult coworkers, and professional growth. I really want to see you guys succeed whenever you guys are doing. We're going to do all kinds of other things as well in this because I want us to succeed. There are so many avenues I want to explore in this, and we will eventually get to the part where I'm having interview guests on. You guys are calling in and sharing some of your guys' career experience. I really want to hear from you guys, and we will be doing that in the future. I will have an open mic. You guys come on, tell me about your career experience, and share that information because I think it's important that we log that stuff. And I love it. I love seeing this type of stuff for us. There's always going to be noise around, right? There's always going to be noise, just like these guys, right? But tonight like tonight's shows that we do, we're going to focus and navigate this space effectively. And I look forward to helping. And I really want to do. I want to be able to do that with you guys. Let me go ahead and pull this up real quick. I keep seeing you guys' things. Dr. Insomnia says it feels like it's two streams in one. Yeah, you guys get the dogs and me. You don't get this in the edited versions of my videos. Great to see you as well. Thank you. I appreciate being here. Mike Salt says, the Frank and Dog Show. I have two dogs at my feet and one in my lap when I'm on the computer. They're always around. always around. They're always flying behind me and they're on me. Dr. Insomnia also says, if you look forward to Monday instead of dreading it, you're doing something right. Yeah, I do look forward to all my work days when I go into work. I know it's, for some people, sometimes that is impossible to look forward to days like that. But I think looking forward to your work days is a positive. I like Sauce. My career experience is I am happily retired as of 2/2/26. That's awesome. Congratulations, by the way. Congratulations. I'm sure that will give you time to explore some of your hobbies that you like, some more time with family, more time with the kids, older kids, grandkids. That's awesome. That's awesome. Hey, David. David says, I've been working in the paint industry for over 25 years, both corporate and retail. Plenty of scenarios to discuss. Yeah, I would love to hear about that stuff. I would love to hear about experiences because I have lots of experience through different careers as well. Retail career, working at a grocery store, working at vendor distribution, working in farming, doing YouTube. That was definitely something that I'm still currently doing. And we will gear this up as we continue to do it. And we're doing all kinds of stuff. So I have a lot to draw from, but you guys have tons of years of experience in your guys' respective fields that you guys have worked in. Dr. Asami says, looking forward to tomorrow, Frank. I work at the UPS hub part-time, but it pays well. That's awesome. That's awesome. That is awesome. Yeah. And a lot of times, I know pay is a motivator, right? It should be a motivator for many of us. Pay, I feel, is almost secondary. And in the sense that if you don't like what you do, if you don't enjoy what you do to some extent, pay is irrelevant. If it's a toxic work environment that you're currently always going into, pay is irrelevant. You're taking years off your life working in something that you guys don't want to be in. That's impacting you emotionally, spiritually, physically. There's ways to pivot from those scenarios. I hope to help give direction, insight on how to make those pivots. I don't want you guys to be stuck somewhere that's literally draining the life out of you because maybe the pay is good. Great. Pay is great. Pay won't matter, though, if you're in the ground way earlier than you should be because you were operating in a toxic environment for way too long. And I hope that we can explore some of those things together. You guys are going to be the backbone of this. All of you guys have shown up this evening. I know this has been a shift for, yeah, I'm still monetized for sure. I'm still monetized. And I'm thankful for that. Very thankful for that. And you guys are the backbone of this entire thing. And I look forward to interacting with you guys every live stream. We'll be streaming again on Wednesday evening. That's going to be our midweek stream. So Sunday night, which we're currently streaming now. And then also Wednesday night as well. We'll be streaming. That will be our midweek. And on that Wednesday stream, I will actually be talking about the comments left in the videos. We'll be looking at what people are saying in the polls, and we'll be highlighting those comments because people have valuable things to add. And if you are one of those individuals that have something valuable to add, leave a comment. Leave a comment. And if you guys haven't already, please like the stream. I appreciate that. It goes a long way. If you like this type of content, hit that subscribe button. Maybe share it. It all helps out. I do appreciate it. But I'll definitely be doing these on Wednesday. Doctor says Wednesday I'll be working, but I'll drop in if I get a break. Yeah, Yeah, you can always catch on replay as well. And, I'm here on Sunday nights at 7 p.m. as well. And we're going to be doing these moving forward. So expect self-standing videos throughout the week. Those are the long form videos, but I will also be doing shorts as well. Shorts, I'm trying to reach new viewers through shorts. It's a great way to try to do it. And I just want to be able to, hopefully, if I can impact one person, it was worth it. It was worth the change. And I'll leave you guys with this. And it was something that has been brought up on a few of my videos already. People asked why I left covering politics. I said, I got bored, and people said they didn't believe me. That's okay. They can believe what they want. But I truly did. I truly did get bored of the politics, in the sense that the information that I felt I was giving wasn't benefiting people. It wasn't something that was uplifting in that sense. It wasn't impacting people in a way that I thought would benefit their lives. I felt like I was almost regurgitating what people were already saying. And I felt stuck doing that. Like it wasn't what I was supposed to be doing. So, of course, I took a break, took a long break, and I prayed about it, talked it over with my family, my wife, and said, I don't think I want to do this anymore. And many of you guys know my wife, Sharon. We do Uniquely Us together. I told her, I said, she's like, well, what do you want to do? I want to do something that helps people. I want to draw from my personal experiences. I want to share information that will benefit somebody. And I want to be able to help them that way. And she said, well, what are you thinking? I said, I really want to. Hey, Jim, Jimmy, Jim, come here. Jimmy, come here. Jim, Jimmy, Jim. Thank you, Jim. Appreciate the break. What I really want to do is share career advice and help people in that way, because if I can help them in their career, they will be able to help their family and do so many things to improve themselves and be able to do so much more. And so those are some of the things I was thinking about doing and moving to and moving on. And so I really, really appreciate you guys and every sentiment that you guys have given. That doesn't mean I don't follow politics still. I do. I'm just not going to talk about it here. I'm going to focus on things that I think will benefit others in a more productive way. And I appreciate all of you guys. So thank you guys so much. Thank you, Captain Vicky, for the super chat. I appreciate you guys. David says your streams and videos were meaningful for the right time. They were informative and entertaining. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Of course, Dr. Insomnia says, hey, Frank, you got us through the Sleepy Joe potato years. And for that, we were thankful. So thank you. And I like Salt says, you can always share Jesus in the workplace. Sometimes it's a have a blessed day. Absolutely. And Movie Dog, I'll be here for you. Thank you. So next stream will be on Wednesday. I look forward to seeing you guys. Look for new videos tomorrow night. Thursday and Friday, I'll have some shorts. But until then, I'll see you guys a little bit later. Thank you guys so much for everything. And I'll see you guys soon. Have a blessed day, everybody. Have a great start to your work week. If you're starting tomorrow, if you're off tomorrow, fantastic. Enjoy the day off. It's a holiday. Enjoy it. Get some rest. But for everybody else who has to work, I hope you start your week off right. Remember, you control what you can control And that's how you react emotionally to the things outside of you. All right. God bless. I'll see you guys soon. Thank you, everyone. Have a great night.